An amazing story. Once upon a time, in a small village next to big, blue mountains, lived a boy named Lucas. Lucas was a student, and he had a very big dream. He wanted to become a great astronomer. He wanted to study the stars, the moon, and the deep secrets of the universe. But there was a problem. Lucas lived in a poor village. He did not have a computer. He did not have expensive books, and he did not have a telescope. Every day, Lucas walked 2 hours to go to a small school. At school, some children laughed at him. They said, "Lucas, you are poor. You cannot buy a telescope. How can you study the stars? Give up." Their words hurt Lucas. Sometimes, he sat under a big tree and cried. He felt like a small boat lost in a massive, dark ocean. He thought, maybe they are right. Maybe my dream is too big for a boy like me. One afternoon, a new teacher came to the school. Her name was Miss Clara. She was kind, and she had traveled all over the world. She noticed that Lucas always looked at the sky and wrote notes in an old, torn notebook. After class, Miss Clara walked up to Lucas. "What are you writing, Lucas?" she asked with a smile. Lucas tried to hide his notebook. He was afraid. "Nothing, miss, just silly things," he whispered. Miss Clara gently took the notebook and opened it. Inside, she saw beautiful, detailed drawings of the moon, the stars, and the constellations. Lucas had drawn everything using only his eyes and his imagination. Miss Clara looked into Lucas's eyes and said, "Lucas, these are not silly. This is beautiful. You have a gift." Lucas looked down. "But Miss Clara, I don't have a telescope. I don't have money. The other students say I can never achieve my dream." Miss Clara smiled warmly. She placed her hand on Lucas's shoulder. "Lucas," she said, "look at the sun. It does not need a golden path to shine. It just shines. A telescope is only a tool. Your mind and your hard work are your real power. The world does not care where you start. The world only cares how hard you try. Do not let the words of others dim your light." Those words changed something inside Lucas. A spark of fire woke up in his heart. He decided he would not complain about what he lacked. He would focus on what he had. From that day on, Lucas studied harder than anyone else. When he did not have a book, he memorized the lessons from the school library. When he did not have electricity at night, he studied under the street lamp. When people told him no, he told himself yes. Years passed. Lucas encountered many failures. He failed exams, he faced financial troubles, and he felt tired. But every time he wanted to stop, he remembered Miss Clara's words, "The world only cares how hard you try." He applied for a scholarship at a famous international university. Thousands of students from rich cities applied. Lucas had only his old notebook and his deep knowledge. A few months later, a letter arrived at Lucas's small house. He opened it with shaking hands. He had won the scholarship. 20 years later, in a massive science center in Northern Europe, a group of young students gathered around a giant, modern telescope. A man walked into the room. He was wearing a professional suit, but he had the same kind eyes as the little boy from the village. It was Lucas. He was now Dr. Lucas, a world-famous scientist who had discovered a new planet. A young student looked at him and asked, "Sir, how did you become so successful? Did you have the best schools and the best tools?" Dr. Lucas smiled and shook his head. "No," he said, "I had no tools. I only had a dream, an old notebook, and the willingness to work when everyone else was resting. Remember this, your background is just the start of your story. It is not the end. If you work hard, the whole universe will open its doors for you."